Yeah, you know, Moz and I, we got back from, when he first arrived at the academy, Chad Little and Cameron Arena brought him around to the house, and ever since then he's just been part of the family. I mean, I used to teach him to ride every day. I mean, he'll tell you himself, we taught you to ride, I'll tell him, I did, you know. So those days I was riding work every day with him, I was showing him this, that. And Sundays we used to gallop horses and in the quiet, you know. Those days were never pain.
Well, we're not going to start the podcast the good old-fashioned way. We're starting it differently, and I'm going to give you a few key words so that you could guess. Well, I might as well tell you, but I'll give you the key words anyway, how we're going to start this podcast. KwaZulu-Natal, Marianne Thompson, Ambience Stud. Pathfork, Killarney. As I said, KwaZulu-Natal, Nathan Kotzen, Royal Victory, Betway Summer Cup. That's who our guest is for this podcast, Nathan Kotzen from Nathan Kotzen Racing. How are you, Natty?
Very well, thanks yourself, Warren, Andrew.
Good to have you on the show.
Absolutely, we thought it was a must. As your horse went past the line last Saturday, the team got hold of us and said, we know who our guest is, Nathan Kotzen. We know we've had you on the podcast before, but we just needed to welcome you, needed to embrace you and talk about such a fantastic milestone. But before we do that, I'll get into trouble, Nate, if I don't talk to my bushy-haired friend over here. You didn't stop phoning, eh? I was the day I'm early is the day you must worry. 2 minutes late, I'm happy.
No, but you were late last time. You bloody forgot to come to the podcast.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I was so late, I never came at all. Quite right. I was so late, I never pitched at all. But once or twice...
You're a lovely baby.
Once or twice you haven't pitched either due to traffic reasons, eh?
Yeah, well, that's different, eh?
Okay, well, we'll leave that for another podcast.
I'm not going to pitch next week either, so don't worry.
Which bush are you going to next week?
I'm going fishing next week.
Okay, well, all right, that's not a problem. But we also need to mention that we're going to be doing a podcast soon about how to get involved in owning a racehorse. That's going to be our next project in the next couple of weeks. But of course, we're in the month of December. Nate's, just a quick refresher course for those of the viewers that have forgotten. Your work experience, I mean, we all know you were born in racing, your brother's a trainer, your father, etc. We know all that, but just refresh the public's mind of your lead up to where you are today. Where did you start? Who did you start working for, etc.?
Well, obviously, you know, my dad started us, he taught us basically everything about horses from a young age. My first job out of school was with Michael Azzi. Also, a lot of time for that man. He also taught me a hell of a lot. And only reason I left him is when my brother passed away. That's the only reason why I left Mr. Azzi. But yeah, he was a very good man to work for too. And I've had a lot of trainers I work for, and I just, with the late Michael Roberts was another top trainer.
Top trainer, yeah.
David Payne, I worked for Greg Enyon, who also has taught me quite a bit in my young age. I even worked for Mr. Miller when I left the army for a couple of months. He helped me out, just helped me get a bit of money to keep going. I've had a lot of trainers I work for. The late Mr. Sivrat as well.
Okay.
Also, so yeah, I've had a lot of experience.
You've been through the mill there.
I've worked for my brother too in Cape Town for a while.
That must have gone well.
That was actually very nice. I get on well with my brother.
I had the privilege of driving past your brother's property in Cape Town on my recent holiday, and unfortunately never had time. Right across the road is Varsfontein. Yeah, Varsfontein, and then your brother's place, which looks magnificent. But on my next trip to Cape Town, which is soon, I'll let you know, because seeing you going to the bush or to fishing next week, I'm going back to Cape Town soon, but we'll talk about that later. I'll go and hopefully go and see that beautiful spot. I also want to, so you've got the years of experience, you've worked with the best, and of course you took out your own trainer's license. When did you go on your own, Nate?
It's going on 7 years now.
Okay.
You know, when Mark said he's going to give up the satellite Georgia in Natal, I thought, you know, best next thing I can do is start to train. You know?
Yes.
After working for Mark, it was hard to go and find another job somewhere else. I mean,
yeah.
And Mark just left it to do my thing. He never interfered with me. He just said, crack on and do what you have to do.
And results were phenomenal too. Group ones with Mark and just great results too.
But it must have been difficult. I mean, you leave Mark but all his owners go with him.
Yeah.
So you had to build up your own.
No, it wasn't easy.
No.
I started with Mike used to pay nice bonuses every year, and that's what I started my yard with my bonus money. And he did give me 1 or 2 horses just to start. He gave me 3 horses to start with, and then I had 1 or 2 on my own.
Yeah.
And yeah, from there I just had to try and
Yeah.
build myself up.
Crack on, yeah.
He's not shy to support Mike De Kock. You open the race card or the computer form or whatever publication you use, and you see Mike's name there, M. De Kock with the red and white silks, and his friends and his partners. They've got horses in Port Elizabeth. They've got horses everywhere. So he's not scared to support those that need support.
Yeah, no, he does. But I wish he would have supported me a bit more when I started with some throw-out of his from Joburg for the poly track and that. But obviously, you send them to PE. That's most of the trainers do that. They send them up to PE afterwards.
I'm glad that you mentioned Mike De Kock and Natie because there was, and we're going to talk about different emotions and different moments on the day when we get to the big day, but it was captured on video, on TV, on wherever it was captured. In the second box, Mike ran second, but you and him embraced one another in between the first and the second box. Big hug. I think he almost lifted you up off the ground.
He did. He gave me a kiss on the cheek.
Oh, okay, so he gave you a kiss. All
Gave me
right.
a kiss on my cheek. He said,
Okay.
well done, and it was very nice.
I mean, how great was it? I mean, that moment I'm sure will stay in your heart, that particular moment forever.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like I've always had a lot of respect for Mike. I mean, we all know what a good trainer is, but as a person himself, you know, he's just down to earth. He's like one of the boys.
One of the boys, yeah. But did you see that moment? I know maybe you didn't watch the whole coverage, but to see Mike lift up Natie, I didn't see the kiss, but it was just so joyous and so fantastic.
missed
It
that
really,
part.
really was. Okay. Talking about relationships and that you have with people, Muzi Yeni's no stranger to your family, another good lad, a good rider, and quite fitting that he gave you your first Group 1.
Yeah, you know, Muz and I, we got back from when he first arrived at the academy. Chad Diddle and Cameron Arena brought him around to the house, and ever since then he's just been part of the family. I mean, I used to teach him to ride every day. I mean, he'll tell you himself, we taught you to ride, you'll tell him I did. You know, so those days I was riding work every day with him. I was showing him this, that. And Sundays we used to gallop horses and in the quiet, you know. Those days they were paid.
But Muzi, you know, I saw on one of the press releases, they said his first Summer Cup winner, but he's won it about 3 years, hasn't he? I know he won for Joey Soma.
Did he win that? I also seen that
He's jolting our memory, Nate. I mean, we can't remember so far.
Yeah, well, I've got a
I actually
short-term
also
memory
thought
loss.
he had won.
No,
the
he had
Summer
one.
Cup before.
He won for Joey Soma on a bloody 40-1 chance.
So not that horse that's give me what's it? Give me the green light horse of Joey's. Did he win with that?
Joey's only won. How many times has Joey won it? Once, hasn't he?
I don't know, but I remember that it was some bloody foreign thing. I can't remember the name. I've been trying to rack my brains for the last 2 weeks and I can't remember.
Okay, that's whether it's once, twice, or thrice. It's
But it wasn't
fantastic.
once.
So
He's won it before.
He's won it before. Okay, Muzi Yeni, phenomenal ride, and a phenomenal human being. Now, talking of family, you mentioned family. Tell us about your family. You've got Wendy and your kids and close-knit family, Nate. Your daughter works in the stable.
Yeah, you know, we're all very close. We get on well. Even my brothers, my sisters, Wendy, her family, we're all very close. And Tash helps me quite a bit in the yard. She does my accounts too. So yeah, you could see by the pictures on Summer Cup Day, Tash is very touched and emotional when horses win. But I'm always screaming them home. At home, she screams so much, the dogs go mad, everything goes mad.
And Natasha, Tash, as you say, what is her surname?
Culverwell.
Okay, so Natasha Sturdy is one of your owners in your
Yes.
stable. Okay. Somebody asked me the other day if it was the same lady, but now we've clarified that it's not the same lady. Now let's
go on to the race.
let's go on to the race. Royal Victory, bred by Marianne Thompson, Ambient Stud. Path Fork is the sire, Kalani's the mare, KZN trained. Let's go straight to the nitty-gritty. How did you find and how did you acquire Royal Victory?
Well, you know, we all go to sales looking for our horses, and I was just going past, I walked past Spencer Cook, and I said, hey Spence, let me have a look at your drafts. I said, no problem, and he pulled them out. And I just something caught my eye about that horse. I just said to him, geez, I like this horse. So I've got to get him. He said, no. Spencer gave me a speech about the horse today. Look, it was a very nice horse. He agreed with me. I said, Spencer, I'm going to try and buy this horse. And that's how I got him.
Jeez, okay.
So I just bought him on tick. And then I had a friend from Durban, actually. He phoned me and said, hey, I see you bought the horse. I like the horse on the picture. Can I buy it? I said, no problem. Then the next thing, his father found out that he wanted to buy a horse and he couldn't buy it no more, and all everything fell through.
That's
and
unusual, yeah.
I said to Peter Victor, I said, look, I've got this horse. And Peter said, I'll take 50. I said, well, take 51, then you're the majority shareholder. He said, no problem.
Clever thinking,
So he took 51, and then my cousin took 31 and a half between him and myself. We got actually half there.
Okay.
Natasha's 30 was loving the victory with me, a horse I got from Lucky that he had sent up here. There was like 16 of them in that horse. And she seen on Facebook and she phoned me and said, can I take a small share? I said, no problem.
And do you think all those owners that clubbed in to, not help, but clubbed in to get behind Nathan would have thought that, buying a horse that probably hadn't even been broken in yet, that they would go on and win the Betway Summer Cup? It just shows you the unknown.
That's the chance you take. The biggest gamble in racing is actually buying a racehorse.
True.
Okay, these telephone sales people, since I've done this podcast, I've switched the phone off 5 times. The same number keeps phoning. How do you stop them from annoying you?
You switch your phone off.
Do you get those, Dave, all the time?
Well, it's the end of the month. Everybody thinks you broke. They wouldn't.
Yeah, but
give
surely
you a
after
loan.
the 978th time of phoning in a month, you'd realise
There's
that's...
a button that says block.
Yeah, they've got hunting lines, you see. Okay, back to the horse. So that's how... Which sale was it, Nate? Which sale was
At
it?
the Jameson.
Oh, at
PSA,
okay. I think we need to elaborate a little more on those owners, because you've got your cousin Brandon in there. Where's he based? And passionate man like you can't never find.
Yeah, he loves the game. He loves horses. When he was young, he also used to work with horses with Tyrone Zaki, actually, when he was a kid. He used to write a bit of work in that, and so he does know a bit about horses and all that. He's from Joburg. He's got a estate agent business there.
Okay.
Yeah, and then obviously Peter Victor,
Another phenomenal
he
human
loves
being.
the game. He's really mad about horses, and very good man to me. He's helped me out a lot.
He was the same gentleman that was at Hollywood Bets Gravel, I think, when Royal Victory won his last start, and there was a bit of there was doubt there that he might not stay.
Yeah,
was
well,
it the same chap, the same guy? He
chap,
said, and he
same man.
bashed you on the back. He said, "I told you he would
Yeah,
stay."
he grabbed me, he picked me up. I thought he was going to break me in half.
That was a lovely video that they had on the Gold Circle social
Yeah,
media.
yes.
Same guy,
Yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, he was always confident the horse would stay. I always said to him, look, personally, I think mile max maybe, looking at all his runs up in Joburg last season, and Mike also had said to me, Nate, I don't know if you'll quite stay.
Okay.
But then I said to him, Pete, after 1 or 2 bad runs, he said, man, Nate, you know what, not bad runs really, coming back a 14 mile, he had him a bit handy, and he doesn't like that way of racing. So he said, look, Nate, if you think we don't stay, then what's the use of going for the Summer Cup? Let's rather just come for the charity mile, for that 1600 meter race. I said, look, Pete, I said, we've got a game plan, let's stick to it. Go this Michaelmas handicap. If he doesn't stay the 9, then we know where we are. If he stays or he doesn't. If he doesn't win, then we don't nominate. So I said, right, fine, let's stick to it. And we won the 19, and I said, well, then let's supplement him and let's see what happens from there.
I say it was a supplementary entry.
Yeah, because I didn't want to nominate him until I knew he actually
Yes,
went
you
to
would
this.
stay the
absolutely.
trip.
Yeah, if you were the 1900, as you say, if you'd run 7th or something, not
I would
staying,
have
you would
pulled
have,
him,
for sure. Clever thinking and the right way to go. I
But did one in Joburg before?
He won a 14, he won the Tony Ruffle.
Won the
last
Tony
year,
Ruffle, yeah.
And he ran second in the Guinness Shorthead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was no stranger to the Highveld. I mean, you'd taken him up the season before.
He knew the track well. He ran in the Classic his last run, the 1800. That's why we thought maybe he doesn't quite see it out.
Yes.
He ran up 5th that day.
I raced from a box at
nice.
Yeah, no, we don't play. I raced from a box at Turffontein on Betway Summer Cup day, and one of the chaps that was in the box with us had just come up in the lift, and he walked into the box. He said, "I got a tip for you." I said, "Okay, what's up?" He said, "I've just come up in the lift with all the Royal Victory owners, and they say they can't lose." And of course, some listened, some didn't listen, and the result was there for all to see. But you guys we're not being after the race merchants by any means, but he was a long shot, and yes, he was overlooked by many, which that's racing. Everybody can't fancy every horse. But you guys were fairly upbeat of a huge run. Hard to go and saying you can't lose. That's racing slang, but you were quite upbeat of a good run, weren't you?
Yeah, look, I was hoping for a good run. It was not very easy coming from Durban, like everyone knows.
Yes.
Drive horse up the day before and expecting to win the race. I mean, all the top horses in there, and I was just hoping that I could just run a big race, and even if I would have been glad with the place. But Peter was very confident. He was always, this big runner on the weights and this, and then he was going back on the form and everything, and he was quite confident that big runner. Brandon also, and Natasha didn't say much. Natasha just kept quiet.
So just carry on.
Yeah, but like I say, I was just hoping that he's going to run a big race. And then, I must just say big thanks to Ted Hughes. He's like my second father. He helps me a lot in the yard. It's his float. He's made it bigger in size, and he's done it up nicely. There's camera in it. We can watch horses on the way up, and he drives and he sticks to a certain limit. I'm telling him go faster, but he won't. To travel horse, you've got to know how to do it. Just keep quiet and let him do what he has to do.
So, well, how did you sort of plan to go up there? I mean, was it experience, or was it, just go up in the middle of the blooming night?
But before we talk about that, because that's an important question, I just want to be on the owners. I just want to clarify. Sorry to disturb you. Natasha, is she Durban-based or Johannesburg-based?
Natasha Sturdy's up in Cape Town.
Oh, she's in Cape Town. So there's 4 owners. Natasha, Cape Town-based, and she flew up for the race, did she?
No, she didn't make it.
She didn't make it. Okay, so she's in Cape Town. Then you've got obviously Brandon, Joburg, Peter, Joburg,
and his wife Belinda.
Joburg, and then obviously you KZN. Okay. Glad you raised Ted Hughes, because Ted Hughes, and it's good, soccer teams have their supporters, rugby teams have their supporters, musicians have their supporters, and it's almost like it's not allowed in racing to have supporters of horses and jockeys and trainers, and Ted Hughes is a massive supporter of the Nathan Kotzen stable. He's a great man, he's a great breeder, and let's continue on that, and with Ted travelling the horse, as Andrew said. When did you leave? How did you do it? Because we saw your beautiful float there. You call Ted Hughes, Nathan Kotzen Racing. Tell us about that whole travel experience.
Yeah, we were going to leave originally on the Thursday, but it was so hot. I said, Ted, let's leave it for Friday morning, early hours. With Mark, being with Mark, we travel a lot, but we used to usually take him up on the Thursday or whatever, or the Friday. It didn't really matter as long as they're there 2 days or day before. We used to like to travel him up with Mark. So I just stuck to more or less what Mark does, and travelling up there, and afterwards when we get there, we do what we have to do, drip them and get them back to themselves a bit. We travelled very well after Ted's immaculate driving.
How long did it take?
I left at 2:20. We actually got on the road, and we arrived at 9:15.
Okay. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, but okay, so 7. So you talk about dripping, and there's ways of getting the nutrients back in the electrolytes. You can do it either via drip or drench. Is that correct?
Yeah, you could drench them as well.
Okay, so that's just electrolytes to get that back into the system, get the blood right, get the nutrients
to help him
rehydrate. Yes. Okay. So Ted Hughes, I mean, you've had many conversations with Ted, and he loves to dabble in his breeding, and he's had some very good horses. Ruth didn't come.
No, Ruth sold the 4 today. It was myself, Wendy, Tash, and Ted. So it was 4 of us, plus the 2 grooms. Okay, so that's Ted Hughes. That was the travel. When did you leave, Nate, to come back? Because I know you were at the sales on Sunday. I had the privilege of sitting just a stone's throw away from you. But Monday morning early.
Monday morning. So you came back Monday morning early. Okay.
Did you buy anything at the sales?
You obviously, you like to get me into trouble, eh? Actually, yes, I did for a change, because normally we've got a couple of friends that race together, and they normally do the business, and they said to me this year, they said, leave it, you do the business. And it's a bit nerve-wracking when you take the pen and you sign on your buyer's card, but luckily...
They gave you a buyer's card?
Buyer's card,
They check your bank balance.
I see you betting on one there.
So yes, we did purchase 2 horses, 2 fillies. and it was actually a very good sale. Let's talk about the sale, actually. Let's jump to that. It's nice that in our podcast there's no
man,
format.
don't get the sale. We're going to finish talking about the race.
We go back to the race. But okay, well, let's go back to we'll talk about the sales just now. But you made me lose my train of thought. Yes, Saturday we were at the sale, so you travelled Monday morning. Your reception at Turffontein, your reception by Full Racing, etc., I'm sure would have been nothing but fantastic.
Yeah, obviously it made sure I just phoned the guys and let them know we're coming up. Everything was organised nicely, the box and everything, and yeah, they were good to us. They were good to me.
You want to talk about the race? Fire away, you biscuit.
I want to watch the race because I was watching and I saw all the money came from Mike's horse, Safe Passage.
I must say that
The last minute, the cash
the
arrived.
money came for Safe Passage, and a lot of people in the box were saying on form they were quite amazed that the money was coming. You know, you can never say a horse can't win because every horse is in the race, but he has been a little off form, and it was nice to see him come right back to best.
Then I was watching the race, and I saw, because I'm a Muzi fan, I'm afraid. I think he's a great jock. And I saw he was sitting quite comfortably. And then when they came around the turn, he was sitting there, he went on a little bit of the inside, and he went dee, 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 dee. And then I hear Clyde Basil shouting this one and that one and that one. He didn't even mention Royal Victory. And Muzi was just moving through.
I was quite
bang. So I screamed at him.
I was quite surprised that Clyde wasn't mentioning him. Obviously, he didn't have him in the pick six. But yeah, I thought a long way out he was.
I watched him a long way out because the missus was watching, which is unusual. She doesn't really watch races. At she's about 600 out. I said, this is going to win. Yeah. This all shit in.
But as Andrew said, I won't use the same word, but he didn't win. He romped home. I mean, there was only one horse in the photograph, and it was really a special one. Where did you watch the race from? Were you with all the owners in the family? Where did you watch
in the
from?
parade ring.
Okay.
Just before the post, funny enough. When he hit the front, I seen him, but from behind, I couldn't really see. I was just watching him. I didn't know what run second, third, fourth. I was just hoping he was going to hold on because I knew it was still about
funny
50
you
meters.
mentioned that. I came down and watched Purple Pitcher's race down in the parade ring. So you've obviously you're in the parade ring. The finish line is obviously a little further than in the parade ring, but you've got that magnificent big screen TV. So as they came past me in that race, I said, okay, well, Purple Pitcher's going to run second. He can't possibly win. But you failed to realise that there's still 60 or 80 metres of a race course to go. So if they flashed past you, I said, okay, well, Purple Pitcher will run second. My bet's gone. And then you look up at the screen and you think, oh, hang on, the race is still on. And then he came back and so you're quite right. So they would have gone past you and then you would have looked up. But there must have been screaming, shouting, tears. Just, it must have been everything.
Yeah, as you could see, Tash and Pete they're all over the moon. We were excited and it took a while to sink in. But,
an adrenaline rush when like that. That's why people go racing.
Yeah, that's great.
There's a picture, and we're going to ask a picture, not a picture.
A picture.
Like Twitter or Twitter.
It's like X.
Pardon?
X.
What's X?
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. Oh, is there no more Twitter?
No.
Oh, okay, you see, did you use Twitter? I never used all those funny things. But now, we're going to need to talk later on about, our show got a lot of hits, with that slaps and all this, coffee slaps.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I want the team to put up on social media, on this podcast. I want them to insert it. We're going to insert photographs of Royal Victory. We're going to insert photographs of Nathan and his owners. But there is one photograph that I want to have inserted because that photograph speaks a million. If that can't market racing, well then I don't know what will. Where Nathan's wife and Nathan's daughter, Natasha and Wendy, are hugging each other and are sobbing. That is what racing's about. That's what racing can do. Can bring people to tears of joy, tears of happiness. And you've obviously seen that photograph, and I'm sure you'll agree with me.
100%. It was a nice photo.
And I know that the ladies You know,
We're usually crying because we don't have any money.
well, and, you know, usually ladies with photographs, you know, don't put that up of me. I haven't got my makeup on or whatever, and can't see. People mustn't see me crying. But if that image doesn't market horse racing, well, then I don't know what will. What did you do, you know, to celebrate Nate's afterwards? Did you all go and have a meal together, a couple of ice cold beers, or what did the team do to celebrate?
Yeah,
and where?
we had a good few drinks at the races, and then we went on to Peter's house up at the Val, and we had a few more there.
Okay.
And then, we all tried to go to sleep.
He's back home, is he? Royal Victory's back home in Durban.
Yes.
We saw that footage as well.
Back at home this morning, I just said to my assistant, geez, we better start working him. He's jumping out of his skin.
Okay, so he took the race very, very well.
So where's he headed to now?
Well. Look,
To
I
his
did
stable.
nominate in the Met, but you know that was my brother's.
I nearly said something. Okay.
Where's he headed to? Yeah, to the stables. Where do you think he's going to head to?
I nominated him in the Met, just to see, but I don't know if I really want to go that route.
It's a long way to travel.
For a horse that doesn't know their left-hand turn, everything. But my brother, he's quite persistent. He kept on, and I must come to the Met. But look, we'll still see. I'm more aiming for Premier's Cup in April, and then maybe July. That's more or less what I thought. You know, same stake as the Met.
Yeah.
So I just
Yeah,
think
well, it's a long trip down to Cape Town. I see Corne Spes was saying, because they asked him why doesn't travel William Robertson down for the Cape Flying Championships, and he said it's just a long way to go, you know, and you never know what's going to happen.
it's a hell of a trip. It's like
Yeah.
24 hours for
Yeah.
horses to travel there. It's hectic. Even though you stop over for a couple of hours, I think it takes
Yeah,
about
you go all the way down there, and then you got to come all the way back. If nothing happens, then you come all the way back, and then the horse has got to take another couple of months to
months to
climb
come
it
out, yeah.
But
So
also,
he'd rather come and stuff us at Scottsville, yeah.
but Nate, you're quite right. At least you've opened. You know, you've given your. You know, you've got your options open. You can go down to the Cape. I'm sure your butts, as you say, wants the best for you, and is recommending that you go to the Cape. But you know, if you said to him, "Hang on, let's go the other route, the Premiers," as you say, and then come through to KZN, which is on your doorstep. You know, you've got options, which is so darn exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
What was your merit rating? How far did it go?
It's a 119 now. He was a 111. He was also a sufferance. He was under a bit of sufferance too.
Sufferance,
they
yeah, so
added
you got
that on.
extra.
Yeah, I got a bit of extra.
Yeah.
there.
Because you got to sort of manage, if you want to go for the July, you got to
Watch the merit
watch
rating.
the merit
true.
rating, yeah.
So you've got an up-and-coming 3-year-old comes in there, no weight.
Yeah.
What's he like to train?
He's a lovely horse to trainer. He's very, he gets a little bit, likes to stop and look around a bit, but no, he's straightforward. Lovely to train.
You know, the funniest thing, a lot of people said, Nathan has just mentioned, you know, he stops and looks around and he observes his scenery. And funny, if you talk to a couple of people that have got top horses, it seems to be a bit of a trait in top horses. Charles Dickens, you look at the footage of him, he stands, he surveys the scenery, and I know of a few good horses that just stop and absorb everything. Now, you've just mentioned that as well with Royal Victory. And he's by Path Fork, and the debate will go on forever because we will never know the answer to the debate. Many people were saying at the 2-year-old sale the day after that Path Fork could have had a grade 1 double, because Main Defender is a Path Fork as well, but Main Defender was scratched, and that's everyone has their opinion about that, and we won't go into that at all. But Path Fork seems to be firing, and he stands, we were saying, at Boerlandstad down in the Cape.
I think it is.
Down in the Cape. So Path Fork, you know, we say unfashionable stallion, but he's a good stallion. He's got 2 top horses at the moment that we can think of at the top of our head. So they don't always have to be, you know, the top end of the market stallions. And funny enough, you asked me, did I buy the 2 horses that I bought at this current sale were both by unfashionable sires as well. There's no rules, you know. There's no rules.
Yeah, Path Fork is a very well-bred horse. I mean, it's just, you know, if you go wrong in your first couple of seasons, then you're sort of written off it.
Yeah, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think his problem was, they said he used to have a lot of horses that go in the wind.
Yeah.
So that's why, if I'm not mistaken, they stopped using him like they used to. Yeah.
But I mean, there's horses that got in the wind. There's others that breed bleeders, and you never.
100%.
Otherwise, the horses are probably they're bloody difficult to train because they're nutters. So
They all got their trades.
They all
but
got their trades.
Talking about, it was Paul Lafferty that taught us that silly chirp when you said to the trainer in the interview, well, where to from now? The trainer said, no, I'm going to take the horse to the back, hose him down, give him some water, and then he'll go back to the stable.
Typical Lafferty.
There's the 10th time now they're phoning, eh? There's the 10th time these people are phoning.
Answer them. Say, yeah, we're going to take them.
You answer it and there's a telephonic voice on the other side, so a recorded voice, so you can't flip them. Nate, talking of the sales, how did you go with the sales? Was it successful for you?
Yeah, well, it wasn't really. There's two horses, myself and Peter wanted to buy me one. I went for too much. The two that I liked, but I got two nice horses too. Ted actually come half him and I.
Okay, fantastic.
Two lovely horses and one not fashionable size.
Okay.
Global View and the Wings of Desire. But I
Fantastic.
like the mare out of the Wings of
Absolutely,
Desire.
Yeah.
So
The one I got is the cousin to Charles Dickens, but by a very unfashionable stallion. But that's all right. So Wings of Desire and a Global View.
Yes.
Global Views, they're lovely, big, strong horses.
Yeah, I think she's quite a nice filly actually, very nice.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
So you got two, and so you and Ted, or is there any shares available if anyone wants to take shares, or are those put to bed?
Well, I have got shares in both of them actually. Well, my two half shares, but I haven't really actually tried to find.
Well, you know how to get hold of Nathan Kotzen Racing on Facebook. You got a website?
Yes, I
Yeah.
have.
What is that website? www.
Nathan Kotzen Racing.
NathanKotzenRacing.co.za. But Facebook, I believe, is the easiest and the most simplest way. So get hold of the Nathan Kotzen Racing team and maybe find out if there's a share, maybe not, in these horses.
There's always
and
a
other
share.
horses.
What Mike Rattray always says, you never go bankrupt making a profit. So
Okay, so that was the sales. So that was successful. That was good. And then, of course, Monday you headed back home. That was the last sale of the year, actually. It all starts again next year. The results, which I find fantastic, encouraging, exciting. People say, where do the people get the money? Well, not everyone's bankrupt, but the results from the sales were outstanding. Looking at the press release that was sent out, the turnovers were good. And I was a bit surprised, actually, because in the lead up to the sale, it was very quiet. I mean, I think I bumped into you once or twice there, but it was really very quiet. And I thought, well, they might not get the amount of people. But come sales day, chock-a-block, online, money for everything. And it really was a good sale, which is really encouraging that the industry and the breeding industry is still going strong.
Yeah, everyone, the last couple sales, the people have been saying, then it's going to be like a train smash, but it hasn't. It's actually been, they've been selling well.
Yeah, it certainly has been
And
selling
then,
well.
I'd just also like to just say, just thanks to my farrier, Dean and Peter Strong and Dean Durrant. Dean, he's helped me out a lot. Does very well with my horses. That horse, he hasn't got the best of feet. And he's done a lot of work on him, and also payment-wise, he's waiting, he's stuck it out with me. At least I can pay the man now.
And Nate, is your yard sponsored? Have you got a sponsor?
I have got a sponsor, but it's I'm actually looking for another sponsor.
Okay, fantastic. Peter Strong, that's a name when he worked for Adam Kethra in Moy Rivers days. I met Peter Strong, a farrier, and his whole team of the highest order, and a good man, Peter Strong. Yeah.
Very good. Both of them are very nice. Very
Absolutely good team indeed.
good guys.
Okay, well, I think all that's really left for us is to say that we the whole team, and it's so exciting that the guys behind the scenes who are learning about racing also were of the opinion. We've got a WhatsApp group, just us, in the box seat team, and they said Nathan Kotzen, Royal Victory, and it was nice that even the youngsters are sparking interest, and they are so right, because a KZN chap, when we were just discussing before, it was a long time ago, we don't know the exact date and the exact horse, but we think it's Singing Boy, we think it was, we know Singing Boy was trained by Herman Brown, but it was a long time ago. Since a KZN horse won. Are you happy with that statement? We don't know the exact amount of time.
Yeah, that's the last one I can think of.
Yeah, so it was a long time ago. So you've brought the cup to KZN. We're exceptionally proud of you. The rumour that, you can't train a horse in KZN, or if PE, good, or, it seems that KZN is, we can do it.
Well, I think the buying power in KZN is it's sort of a handicap all the time, because you can't go for the top horses. So you sort of scrabbling around on the bottom. But I mean, the trainers here are top class. There's no doubt about it.
Sorry. There is a lot of good trainers here, and if they got doors, they must take a chance and do it, because it can be done.
Well, I'm glad, is that the advice that I'd like you to repeat that if you don't mind, because I was going to say to you, what advice would you give to other KZN trainers and to other trainers in general? Would you mind repeating that?
Like I say, there's a lot of good trainers in Natal too, and if you got the horse, they must take a chance and do it. The people say it can't be done, but it can be. So they've got the horse, they must go for it.
Go for it, absolutely. Exactly. Well said. But Nate, on behalf of all of us, just well done, and your first Group 1 might be the first of many. May you have a good season next year in KwaZulu-Natal and wherever you may go, and just well done. And to you and your family, it's been difficult times over the years. And just every reward you get is fantastic. You're always happy to talk to the public. You're always happy to talk to the media. Well done, and we're very proud of you.
Thanks guys. Thanks very much.
Anything else to add before we wrap up? Well, we must just quickly talk about
Nathan about his proper trainer, but anyway, I'll keep quiet.
About
his proper trainer.
Who's his proper trainer?
Mr. Haswell. Another man loves the game.
Loves the game. And how's that just for the penny? Is still going strong?
Yeah, he's still going strong. He's got some family out here. He said, please, can I try running in these days?
But isn't it amazing?
Rob, he lives at home. I got all the blooming SMSs and things after the Royal Victory had won.
He said, bloody told you. He's always on the phone before the race, after the race.
But it's good, because I know that sometimes owners-trainer relationships can get a little overpowering. We understand that in any business, it can get a little overpowering. But the fact of the matter is they're good, passionate people, and my, we need as many of those as possible.
Exactly.
And he... what is it with Just for the Penny? I mean, for some time he did go a little off. Is it he went a little off form, but sure, he's just in such good form at the moment. I mean, did you tweak anything, and did he just come good as he's got a bit older?
As a young horse, he's always used to pull up a little bit on the niggly side, so he's on and off, but geez, the work he shows at home, excuse me, I had to just keep going with him, and like I say, Rob loves the game. He just wants to see the horse run in, and obviously doing well. But he's actually done very well. He's been earning. He's run a lot of places. He's only won 2. So hopefully we can pick up another one for him before we retire.
But talking about Rob, I mean, he was over in France for the World Cup.
Yeah.
So the first thing he did was go to the race course.
He always.
He goes to the races. And Christophe Soumillon, he said, you bloody Africa to suit, you come here, you take all our money and you bugger off home again. He said.
But it's amazing, you talk about he goes on holiday, the first place he goes is to a race course. We went to Mauritius, the first day there, we arrived on the Friday, and our next day, said, I want to go to the races. People say, are you mad, you're going to the races and you're on holiday? But you got to, I mean, if you're a racing person anywhere in the world, you go on holiday, you must go and see their racing. Talking about that, James Rich has just had hopefully we see some news in the media. He's been sent off with 8 of his Hollywood and winning form colleagues. They've been in England and they've had a wonderful time, so I hope he does share.
He was at Kempton, wasn't he?
Correct, came to one of the races. And talking about Hollywood, how fantastic they had yesterday, the double, that horse that won in Joburg and the horse that won in Ireland within sort of a few minutes of each other. So that was good news for them. Also yesterday, the Gold Circle team held their long service awards, so well done to absolutely everybody. There was 10 years, all the way up to 35 years long service. It was a phenomenal function. Sipa and I were the MCs, and it really worked out well. It was a good day, so well done to all concerned. Any other news? Soccer, rugby, cricket?
No, it's the Phillies Guineas in Cape Town tomorrow.
Huge racing, absolutely huge racing. It is also the KwaZulu-Natal Breeders' Awards tonight, up in Nottingham Road, where we'll be attending. You're not coming, are you?
Well, I didn't get an invite. So
okay, don't open that can of worms. And if you didn't get an invite, it's not my fault. So we've got that tonight, and of course, big racing. Then we had Hollywood Bet Scottsville on the weekend. Huge racing tomorrow. I mean, there's Charles Dickens. It's just mouth-watering stuff.
The Greenpoint will be a good race.
Good race indeed. Have you got runners on Sunday?
I have 3.
Anything? The show is not a betting show. It's not a tipping show. But any runners that you hope to run well, or one that the public can keep an eye on?
I think Bay Breeze. I've just got it from Gareth. Ted bought on the online sale.
Okay.
My second dad's.
Your second dad. Okay.
She showed me nice work back home here, and I Gareth actually had a chat to me and said she's a nice filly. He actually was thinking of buying her back.
Okay.
But he's decided not to, and he's just said to me, Nate, he thinks she's got another 1 or 2 in her. But what she's shown me now is nice work.
Lovely. So maybe you could throw Bay Breeze into the quartets and some swingers, because as I said, it's a hard game, and this In the Box Seat podcast is not a show where we put anybody under pressure, but throw Bay Breeze into your quartets and trifectas. But that's a wrap from all of us. As I said, plenty of action this over the next couple of days. Christmas is nearing, the end of the year is nearing, but there's plenty more podcasts coming your way. You're not here next week, Thursday,
No,
are
I'm
you?
fishing.
Fishing. Well, then, shall we change it to another date, or?
You can change it to the Friday, but
Okay, we can do
Thursday
Friday.
I'm at Sterkfontein.
Can I come with you?
You need do you ever go on a holiday, Nate? All the trainers, they just work all day, all night. Do you ever find some time to even go for 2 days away?
I used to go quite a bit down to Rocky Bay, and I've got a friend there who's got 5 boats, and we go out there fishing with him. But I haven't been for a while. Since I've started training, I'm battled to get away.
Get away, yeah.
But now I've got someone that I can rely on. I must take at least just a day to go fish.
Yeah,
I
you
love
must.
it.
You enjoy fishing, eh?
I love it.
Okay, there you go. Okay,
You
well,
can come to Sterkfontein.
well, that's a wrap from all of us. We wish Nathan and his family and his team all the very best, and huge congratulations from the In the Box Seat podcast. Be safe, be well. We'll be back next week, Andrew and I. We'll accommodate our diaries so that we can be with you. But all the very best, and punt well, be safe, be kind, and as always, we'll see you. Where will we see you?
In the number 1 box.
In the number 1 box. Thank you for watching this week's episode of In the Box Seat podcast right until the very end. And we hope that you enjoyed it, because we certainly did. If you missed last week's podcast, In the Box Seat podcast with Andrew and myself, please go and watch it here. And last week's episode will be right there for you to go and enjoy and watch, as we know you will certainly enjoy In the Box Seat podcast from last week.